Professor Sarah Martinez adjusted her field equipment as the transport shuttle descended toward Earth's surface, completely unaware that she was about to traumatize an entire class of xenobiology students. The Galactic University's Comparative Ecosystem Studies program had specifically requested to visit the human homeworld, eager to study what they assumed would be quaint, harmless local fauna. They had made a terrible mistake. Remember? Sarah called to her mixed species class as they disembarked at the Costa Rican research station. Earth's wildlife evolved in a high-gravity, high-oxygen environment. Some behaviors might seem energetic compared to your homeworld's. Kethera, a crystalline Vortex student, practically vibrated with excitement. Professor Martinez, we're particularly interested in your planet's cute creatures. We've heard fascinating things about something called a bunny rabbit. Zextol, a towering Kithran who came from a desert world where the largest predator was the size of a house cat, nodded eagerly. Our preliminary research suggests Earth fauna are remarkably docile. We're excited to observe your peaceful herbivores. Sarah paused, a flicker of concern crossing her face. Right. Well, let's start with something gentle. There's a butterfly sanctuary just up this trail. The group followed her into the rainforest, alien students chattering excitedly about Earth's reputation for adorable wildlife. Professor Velthon, an Etherian scholar who existed as a sentient gas cloud, was particularly eager to study what human databases described as nature's flying flowers. They encountered the first butterfly within minutes, a magnificent blue morpho with wings spanning nearly 8 inches. What happened next would be talked about in xenobiology circles for decades. The butterfly, following normal Earth behavior patterns, decided to investigate the strange alien visitors. It fluttered directly toward Kethera's crystalline face, its massive wings creating air currents that would be barely noticeable to humans but felt like hurricane-force winds to beings evolved in low-gravity environments. Kethera shrieked and stumbled backward, her crystalline structure resonating with panic frequencies that shattered 3 data recording devices. The butterfly, startled by the sound, released defensive pheromones that triggered an automatic threat response in Zextol's predator detection systems. It's attacking! The Kithran warrior roared, pulling out what appeared to be a plasma rifle. Professor, the flying creature is releasing chemical weapons. No, no! Sarah shouted, stepping between her students and the confused butterfly. It's harmless. It's just... Her explanation was cut short by the arrival of a curious toucan, attracted by the commotion. The bird, following typical rainforest behavior, landed on a branch directly above the terrified alien students and released what it considered a friendly greeting call. To creatures evolved on quiet worlds where the loudest sounds were gentle breezes, the toucan's cry was like a sonic weapon. Professor Velthon's gaseous form completely dispersed in panic, while 3 Zephyrian students immediately activated emergency teleportation beacons. Retreat! Retreat! Screamed the expedition leader, a battle-hardened hegemony veteran who had never encountered anything as terrifying as Earth's peaceful wildlife. The flying predators have sonic weapons. Sarah watched in horror as her carefully planned nature walk dissolved into chaos. Alien students were diving for cover behind trees, calling for orbital bombardment support, and filing formal reports of biological warfare attacks. Wait! She called desperately. These are just normal animals. They're not dangerous. Her protests were drowned out by the arrival of a troop of howler monkeys, who had decided the alien visitors looked interesting enough to investigate. Their territorial calls, perfectly normal for Earth primates, sent the remaining students into complete panic. Kethera was transmitting emergency signals to the galactic peacekeepers, reporting a Class 5 biological hazard scenario. Zextol had somehow gotten tangled in a spider web, and was convinced he was being hunted by invisible predators with molecular nets. The situation reached peak absurdity when a curious Capuchin monkey approached Professor Belthon's reformed gas cloud and began making what humans would recognize as playful gestures. To the terrified Etherian, it looked like a bipedal predator attempting tactical communication before launching coordinated attack patterns. "They're intelligent," Belthon broadcasted on emergency frequencies. "The Earth predators are displaying tactical intelligence." Sarah finally managed to gather her scattered students back at the research station, where they huddled together in what they clearly considered a defensive formation. Their field notes would later become required reading in xenobiology courses across the galaxy. "Professor Martinez," Kethera whispered, her crystalline form still resonating with residual terror. "How do humans survive on this planet? Every creature we encountered was clearly a specialized killing machine." Sarah looked at her traumatized students with growing understanding. What she considered a gentle nature walk had been, from their perspective, a terrifying expedition through a hostile alien world populated by creatures that defied every assumption about planetary ecosystems. "Well," she said carefully, "we adapt. And maybe we should start your field studies with our botanical gardens instead." The collective sigh of relief from her students was audible across 3 species communication spectrums. Later, in her official report to the Galactic University, Sarah would note that Earth's classification as a death world wasn't just about the dangerous predators or hostile environment. It was about a planet where even the butterflies were capable of inducing psychological trauma in visitors from more civilized worlds. The Comparative Ecosystem Studies program was quietly discontinued the following semester.